You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. The Transportation Department sets a deadline for workers who have yet to get vaccinated. They have 30 days to get fully vaccinated if they want to continue taking public transport. The grace period comes after authorities relaxed the no vaccination, no ride policy. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya. Yusek, welcome back to The Source. Good to see you again.
Very nice to see you also, Pinky, and thank you for having me.
So what it is really is an updated policy on the no vax, no ride policy regulation, saying that only fully vaccinated persons will be allowed to use the public transport. Is this beginning Feb 25, Yusek, or Feb 26?
It's Feb 25 because the policy was announced yesterday. So we started the 30-day window yesterday also. So we are encouraging all the workers to avail of this window opportunity for them to get vaccinated so that they will have no problems utilizing our public transportation moving forward.
So Feb 25, only fully vaccinated individuals will be able to avail or ride public transport. Okay, Feb 25 po yan. So why the directive, Yusek? To begin with, this was already being criticized by a number of groups and even lawmakers. And here's the DOTR. Here's the DOH, I believe, and rather the DILG and the DOLE, making it even more strict for people to be able to ride public transport.
Well, the rationale from the very beginning, Pinky, has always been two things. The first is to protect the unvaccinated themselves. I think this is one point that a lot of people miss, that we are actually protecting the unvaccinated because those people who refuse to be vaccinated up to now are at great risk of critical illness, hospitalization, and even death. And the data from the hospitals, the ICU admissions will prove that the vast majority of those who die and have critical illness are the unvaccinated. So I think we have to emphasize this, and we cannot emphasize this enough, that we are actually protecting the unvaccinated. The second reason for this policy, of course, is to protect the healthcare system from being overwhelmed. That is the objective of every country in the world, to protect the healthcare system from being overwhelmed by the influx of cases coming from the unvaccinated.
There's a question, though, here that should be a concern. Yung pong nagpa-AstraZeneca, hindi ho ba it is 2 or 3 months later before they can get their second dose? And yet, here you are giving them only the next 30 days to be able to get fully vaccinated before they are allowed to use the public transport. Papaano po sila?
Yes, yun nga that's a problem for them because ngayon lang sila magpapabakuna. They should have vaccinated. They should have been vaccinated much earlier. So for these people, because we have a lot of LGUs now, because of the large number of vaccines available, I would advise them not to utilize AstraZeneca. No, they request from their LGU that they are vaccinated with another brand, which will allow them to be vaccinated 30 days later, so that they will not fall under this problem. Because if AstraZeneca sila, definitely they will not be fully vaccinated.
Opo, but that's for every brand, because every other brand allows you, 3 weeks to 4 weeks to be able to get your second dose. But it still does not solve the issue on those who may have, Yusek, been vaccinated with AstraZeneca even last month. Bakit po sila ang maaagrabyado nito? Sabihin po natin yun ang binigay sa kanila ng LGU last month. In other words, kung last month po yun, next month hindi pa sila pwede second vaccine. It'll take, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 months later.
Well, ganun talaga, Pinky, because ngayon lang sila nagpapabakuna, and we have been doing this vaccination program since March of last year. So it just so happens that we cannot delay further the implementation of this policy. That is why we gave a window, and the most that we can do under the circumstances is 30 days.
So, pasensya na lang po sila. Ganun po yun.
Yes. Ganun po talaga implication. You know, Pinky, we talked about this also sa team when we were discussing this, no? It is really
why
a
not exempt them?
of the delay.
Opo, Yusek, sorry, no? Pero why not exempt them? I mean, let's just think about those who may have decided to get the vaccine last month or 2 months ago, or it could have just been possibly available last month. Parang, why must they not be exempt from this no ride, no vax policy?
You know, Pinky, the availability of vaccines has been there since December of last year, no? December of last year, November, ang dami-dami na nating bakuna, no? A large number of different brands. But nonetheless, sige Pinky, I know this is also a valid concern, and we will raise this once again to the 3 agencies, the DOTR and the Department of Labor, so that we can come up with some policy for them.
Okay, and to be clear about this, Yusek, kapag sakali pong mag-de-escalate ang NCR to alert level 2, for example, that happens, this policy is null and void.
Yes, the policy is only applicable during alert level 3. And that's what's contained in the IATF resolution and in the ordinances passed by the various local government units.
All those under alert level 3 and higher. So once any area de-escalates to alert level 2, this no vax, no ride policy basically ceases, or it ends, or it's not applicable anymore.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. There is also an order, Yusek, for, I think it was the DILG that ordered LGUs to list those unvaccinated. Any update on that?
Yes, we have already issued that order to the various local government units, no? And they are given a month. The barangays are given a month to submit the list of the unvaccinated individuals to be used as their reference and guidance in determining who are the unvaccinated area. The rationale for this, Pinky, of course, is number one, how can they enforce the stay-at-home policy for the unvaccinated if they do not know who those individuals are? And number two, it is also a guide to the LGUs and to the barangays for them to know who are those people that they need to convince to be vaccinated. So there are 2 things that will be achieved here. Makakatulong din po ito para makumbinsi yung mga kababayan natin para maengganyo sila magpabakuna.
All right. We need to take a very short break. Yusek, when we come back, let's talk about the campaign period wherein the DILG already said that there should be no physical contact during the campaign period. We'll be taking a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our guest today, DILG spokesperson and undersecretary Jonathan Malaya. Sir, campaign period officially begins for those running for a national post on Feb 8, and yung local po is March 25. Meron na pong rules dito. No physical contact during campaign period. How? Number 1, how can the DILG implement this? Bawal daw ang crowding, bawal daw po ang handshake, bawal ho ang even taking selfies.
Yun nga, Pinky, no? Well, let me first clarify. It is not
kayo.
Let me first clarify, Pinky, no? It is not the DILG that made this policy, no? This is the COMELEC. No? And it just so happens that every election we are deputized by the COMELEC to enforce the policies of COMELEC. And hindi po ito kami, no? It's COMELEC in a resolution which they issued last November, no? Resolution number 10732, which takes the specific conditions and allowable campaign activities. So ako, Pinky, at the onset sasabihin ko na sa iyo, medyo mahirap po talagang ipatupad itong mga policing ito, but we will do our best in so far as the DILG is concerned. That is why an advisory has been issued by our Secretary Eduardo Año, to all local government units and the Philippine National Police, informing them that these are the unique campaign activities that are not allowed and or disallowed in the coming elections.
Opo, because of the pandemic. But meron ho bang, sakali pong meron kayong nakitang nagkaroon po ng physical contact, nagkaroon po ng crowding, nagkaroon po ng handshakes o kaya taking selfies. If the DILG sees these happening when the official campaign period begins, what do you do?
Well, we would need proof, no? And evidence test to support it. So, pwede pong, unang-unang, Pinky, depende yan sa alert level din, no? There are specific things that must be followed depending on the alert level. So, in-person campaigning, for example, is prohibited for alerts level 4 and 5, no? And when dito sa mga in-house campaigning, hanggang sa labas lamang, and minimum public health standards are followed, no? And then for caucuses, meetings, conventions, rallies, the operational capacity of the venue also has to be considered, and
depending on the alert level. Yeah.
Yes, depending on the alert level, and the allowable number of individuals have to be considered. So, to answer your question, we would need evidences, photos, affidavits of individuals, and I guess cases could be filed by either the Philippine National Police or by the private complainants with the COMELEC, because these are technically election offenses because it's violation of rules and regulations issued by the COMELEC.
So if ever, who files the case again, USEC?
Well, it could be a private individual or it could be the PNP, the Philippine National Police, as deputies of the COMELEC.
Right, as deputies of the COMELEC. Okay, but you were saying that you need evidence. Ano po? Let's just take, for example, videos that you already see online and even from news outlets. Would these suffice? Kapag obvious na mo, sabihin po natin obvious na po yung crowding, o obvious na po yung handshake, may nakita kayong handshake, meron kayong nakita mga selfies. Would that be enough, or are affidavits still necessary?
Photos would be enough, I think, no? But affidavits, of course, are supportive documents to the photos. But I think photos would be enough for the Philippine National Police to make the necessary complaints or with the Commission on Elections.
Okay. Also, just a related issue. I'm not sure if you will be able to, if you're the right person to answer this, but meron kasi regarding the presidential aspirants, the president has already spoken. He said that in due time, sasabihin ko kung sino sa kanila yung pinaka-corrupt, so yun yung talagang hindi pwede maging pangulo, etc. According to PNP Chief Jonardo Carlos, there's an ongoing background check already among presidential aspirants. Is the DILG, do you know anything about this? Is the DILG connected on this in any way or any form?
I am not aware, no? I also heard about this in the news reports, no? But we are not presently involved with any background investigation relating to the presidential candidates.
Okay, so you suggest as a last question, now that we are still NCR, and I know that the DOH has said over and over again that even if the cases here are going down, the cases in other areas are going up. Maybe just siguro a reminder to the public, dito po muna sa NCR now that cases are going down?
Yeah, I think, Pinky, we have learned our lesson. Well, I hope we have learned our lesson from the December, no, I wouldn't call, December waves, gatherings. Kasi we were so complacent already. No, we thought that we were protected from COVID because the numbers were pretty low. No, actually, we had an excellent Christmas. No, one of the safest places in the world. But apparently, the Omicron variant was already spreading at that time. So pagpalo ng first week of December, here comes the cases. So I hope that we have learned our lesson. I have learned my lesson, for example. So ako talaga, pag may mga public gatherings, I rarely eat now. No, I'm not going to eat with people. At the end of the day, it's the individual that protects himself. No, it's you who protects yourself, and by protecting yourself, you protect your family.
You're protecting others. Opo, that's
yes,
right.
You're protecting your family. And Pinky, nakita mo naman, no, ang hirap mag-isolate sa bahay. No? Because you're part of a bigger family. So it's really a challenge to everyone. So I hope that we have learned our lesson. We cannot be complacent.
Okay.
Let's keep on following minimum public health standards moving forward.
Just a brief follow-up. Areas of concern sa DILG now.
Well, we're looking at, insofar as COVID is concerned, we're looking at the Visayas area, Cebu, urban centers in Luzon, and urban centers in Mindanao, like Davao, for example, Cagayan de Oro. These are the places that we're looking at, and we're urging the regional task forces there to implement all measures against the spread of the Omicron variant.
Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya, sir, thank you so much for your time and take care.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.